Hey, good evening, class. This week we were asked to identify, not identify, but to uh, expand on our week 4 topic. Um, and for me, I chose, how somebody can be valid uh, is their position or their social status. But for this week, we were asked to discuss about the counter arguments. And for me, those counter arguments, to counteract those, to combat those, if somebody comes out with you with a counter argument, is the best offense is the best defense, is to already understand what you think they're going to say. If you're giving a speech and you have a question to answer and you think these people are probably going to have something that goes against with what I'm saying, you need to come up with these arguments beforehand. You need to think and write down, what could possibly be my strategy what would make it invalid, what would have people turn their backs on my suggestions, on my speech. And so for me, it would be you have to come up with what you think the crowd, the audience, those members would say to combat your opinion, to bring down what you have to bring to the table. Now, for me, I wanted to use the example, how I said in week 4, of how social status or position will give you the authority, will give you a valid reason why you are right. Now, for the discussion this week, I used a general for an example. Now, I don't have any military background, and I don't know a whole lot about the military, but I know that it has to be a long, hard road to become a general. And so for the people that would disrespect disrespect a general or somebody of high ranking position within the military would astonish me. That'd be kind of stupid, I think. But if they had an attack plan, if they gave a speech, if they would get on the news and they gave their strategy to combat against terrorist groups such as ISIS, I don't think a lot of people would disagree with a general. But because of his social status, because of his position where he's held within the ranks, his experience, his knowledge, really outweighs quite a few most American citizens. Now, there of course is going to be those naysayers, and the general has to come up with, or just use one as an example. This military man or this general has to come up with arguments that counteract those. My experience dealing with them, in Iraq or Afghanistan, or my time, maybe served in Vietnam or something like that. And so there's many ways to validate your reasons, and there's many counter arguments. But the key is to come up with your ideas, to know figure out what the crowd is going to come at you with, and to understand that, and to shoot their arguments, their counter arguments down, and say, hey, you know what, this is the truth, and what you're saying is invalid. So, all right, good evening.